Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Aisha Lachey Reads, and today we're going to be doing my January wrap-up. Okay, so I wanted to do my January wrap-up. I know it's a little bit late, but I need to film it, so we're going to do that. How many books did I read in January? So it looks like I read 10 books in January. No, 11. So I did read 11 books in January, which is really good. Quite a few of them were actually on my Kindle, so when I talk about those, I'll put like pictures and stuff up. But the first one that I read was The Girl in 6E, and this is about a girl that basically she has this desire to like kill people, and so she basically just locks herself in her apartment and she's a cam girl, and that's how she makes her money and stuff. And then something happens with like one of her clients. She thinks he's doing something, so she goes out to out of like her apartment to try and fix this. So that was really cool. I gave it a 3-star. It was fun, like it was like an entertaining read, but it was nothing like crazy. I did enjoy it. There's like a little bit of like a romance, like her delivery guy like wants to see her and all this stuff, so you get that aspect too, so you get like double POVs. And yeah, that was really good. I did give it a 3-star. I haven't really thought about it much after reading it, but it was just a fun, fast read to start the beginning of the year off. And then the second book I picked up ended up being my favorite book of January, and that's going to be Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. This is basically just a biography that he wrote about like his time like being on the set of like Harry Potter, and like him beforehand, and like him and his family, and his relationship with like Emma Watson and how good friends they are. And it was just really fun to get to see like the behind the scenes of like the movie, and like what like it was like for them to be like young kid actors. And it was just really fun, and I loved it. I gave it a 5-star. If you love Harry Potter, Tom Felton, and all that stuff, I definitely suggest reading it. It was really fun time. And like in the middle of it, it just has like a bunch of different pictures and stuff from like his childhood, stuff from like on the set. Like it was just a really great time, and I enjoyed every second of this. It was so much fun. So yeah, I gave this one a 5-star. Definitely pick it up if it sounds like it's something you would want to read, because I literally enjoyed it. I think I read it in like a couple days because it was so good. And then the next one I read was Burn the Negative by Josh Winning, and this is a thriller mystery horror about a girl, and she starred in this horror film when she was younger, and all these people on set like began dying, and like all these crazy circumstances happened because of it. And she is now a writer, and she gets sent to do a article about this new movie that's coming out, which is a remake of that movie that she starred in as a child. And she's basically like started a new life for herself. She doesn't go by the same name, so like no one kind of knows that it's her, but she has like all this trauma and stuff related to it, and deaths start happening on this set. And so it's her trying to figure out like why these things are happening. Like, is it supernatural? Is it just someone out to get people and they're just killing people, or what's going on? And it was just like really fun and different, and I liked the movie aspect, like the horror aspect, and like figuring out like, is this supernatural or is this like a real life person killing people? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did give this one a 3-star. It was nothing like crazy, but I just had a good time reading it, and I just like the movie horror aspects since I'm a horror freak. So I definitely did enjoy reading it. If you like mystery thriller, like horror stuff, and you like horror movies, definitely check this one out. And then the next one I read was Schrader's Chord, and this is a horror about these records, and if they're all played at the same time, it basically opens a like portal to like the dead and like almost like hell. And so in this one, like our main character, his father dies and leaves him the record store in Seattle, and leaves these records, and him, his sister, and a couple people that work at the record store end up playing these, and all of these like accidents start happening. And so basically anyone who like plays these is basically set to like die because of that. And I had so much fun reading this. It's set in Seattle, and so all the stuff that they were talking about, all the places that they were going, like I knew exactly like where they were, because I've been to Seattle like so many times, and I lived in Washington, and so this was really fun just being in that. And it made me feel like more connected to the story, because I felt like I knew where we were, what we were doing, like all of this stuff. And at one point they take a trip to Montana, and I lived in Montana as well, so it's like them going on like from Seattle there, like I knew the highways they were taking, I knew exactly, like I could picture all of it in my mind, so I felt way more immersed in like the story. And so I really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4-star. It was just fun, and I like the horror aspect with like the records, and like if you play these you're gonna die. It's kind of like the Ring vibe. And so this was really fun. Definitely check it out if you like horror, and just like it was just a fun, good time, and I'm really happy that I did pick this one up. And this cover is just beautiful with the skull and record, like, oh, it's so pretty. But yeah, I love this one and gave it a 4-star. And then I think the next couple ones were on my Kindle. So let's go on to my Goodreads really quick. Okay, so the first one I did read is going to be It Waits in the Woods by Josh Malerman. And I'll put a picture here. And this one was a short story. And basically this girl's sister, she goes and like she leaves her house and she's going to meet some people, and she goes through the woods and is like missing. And they have like this lore that there's this bridge in the woods, and if you come to the bridge and cross it, there's like a monster on the other side that like kills you. And so this was about her going to see if she can find her sister and seeing if like this monster and stuff is real. And it was like a fast read, but it was nothing like crazy. I did only give this one 2 stars. It was okay, but it just definitely wasn't my favorite. If you like short like novella horror, definitely maybe check that one out. It's in like a whole series, and there's a couple other horror authors that wrote books, and it was basically like a part of like this series. They're all different stories. But yeah, that is one of those. And then the next book I read, it was definitely the worst book of the month, and it was Broken Dolls. And this one I gave a 1 star. I am really good with like extreme horror, all of that kind of stuff, but this had like child like abuse and stuff like that in it. It was just like too much, and I'm like, if it's extreme horror and involves children's, I don't want to know anything about it. But basically it's a mom and a daughter who live alone, and these people come and they basically like torture them and stuff, and it was not for me. And I don't even want to think about it. Like I just literally just put it out of my mind because I hated it that much. And then the next one I read was something akin to Revulsion, and it is 6 extreme like short horror stories by Judith Sonnet. I did give this one 3 stars. It was good. Like it was like fun to have like all these short like horror stories. I don't remember a whole lot about it now that I'm like thinking about it, but I remembered enjoying it at the time, and what I wanted is like short horror stories, and I wanted like the horror aspects and stuff, but I didn't want like a full like length novel because sometimes they get a little repetitive for me. So yeah, if you like the short horror story collections and stuff, definitely check out Judith Sonnet. She has some fun like interesting like ideas, and so it was just like a fun good horror time. So yeah, I loved that. Oh, and then I'm gonna grab my other book. I forgot I have one more. Okay, and then I read House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first in her Crescent City series. This is about Bryce. Basically, she lives in a world with fae, vampires, werewolves, all that kind of stuff. And this is just like a fantasy romance about that. Pretty much everyone already knows about this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. This has been one of like my favorite books of like all time recently, and so I did give this one another 5 stars. I didn't end up reading the second one, but I did start the third one at the end of this month, at the end of January, and I finished at the beginning of February, so I'll have that in my wrap up. So yeah, but I loved this one again, and I did like annotate it and stuff, so yeah, I had a good time reading this one again. But yeah, I think that's all pretty much I have to say about this one, because most everyone knows kind of what this is about and all of that. So, and then the next one I read is going to be The Clown Hunt by Juna Sonnet, so I'll put a picture of that one here. This is basically where a bunch of these people that are dressed as clowns or are clowns in some way get kidnapped, and they're taken to this forest by these group of people that basically hunt them to kill them because something has happened in their lives that involved a clown. And so they're basically taken to this forest to be hunted. And so this is about like your main characters and having all of that happen. And so I think I gave this one, did give this one a 3 star. It was weird and interesting, and like seeing that like fear of clowns and then like people acting on that, like instead of like the clown being the killer, you have people killing the clowns. So that was a fun short horror read. If you don't like clowns, maybe don't read it, but I definitely suggest it because it was just like a fun quick read. I think it was like only like 150 pages, but I did enjoy how it ended. Like the ending was like the perfect ending I could have thought for that. And then after that, I finished Fever House, and this is a story where these drug dealer, like mafia type men, they go to collect money from this guy, and they find this severed hand in this freezer. But like this hand gives everyone weird vibes, and it makes them more angry and violent and stuff. And so it's like this demon hand, and you have like this government organization trying to get this hand back because wherever they got it from, like, had to do with like the government in some way. And so this is them like trying to get that back, and the hand going into like possessions of different people and seeing what happens to them. And it was just like crazy and fun. Like I really enjoyed like the aspect of this hand being able to like turn these people like and give them all these like feelings that they wouldn't normally have. But yeah, I don't want to explain too much more because I don't want to spoil it, but it was definitely like an interesting premise. And then to see like this government going after this hand and stuff like that was really cool, because it's like, I guarantee you there's stuff in the government like that right now that if like it got out or whatever, they would do anything in their power to get it back. So yeah, I gave this one a 3 star. It wasn't like my favorite of all time, but I just really love like the premise and like the storyline of it. So it was just like really fun like read. It is on the longer side, and I think that's why I didn't love it as much, just because there was a lot going on and like a lot of information and stuff. But yeah, it was just definitely like a fun good horror to read. And then what is the next one? The next one I did read is the next one, and technically the last one I read of the month. This one is going to be Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. And I honestly don't remember a whole lot about this one. I'm trying to think. I literally can't even remember what it's about, because it was just okay. Like it was a 2 star. Let's see. Oh, these girls, they do like this seance, and then one of their friends starts acting weird and stuff. And so if you've read My Best Friend's Exorcism, people kind of like combine, like put these two together, like, oh, if you would like this, you would like this. But people seem to like this one a lot better. So if you liked My Best Friend's Exorcism, or you didn't like it and wanted something different, this is definitely a better way to go. It felt more horror-esque, and it just had like a better storyline and better writing. Even though I didn't love it, I did like it better than My Best Friend's Exorcism. So yeah, I gave that one a 2-star. It was fun and all of that, but just not something I'm going to think about. Like, I couldn't even remember a whole lot of what it was about until I like read a little bit of the synopsis. But yeah, I only gave that one a 2-star. But yeah, so those are the 11 books that I read in January. I had a really good reading month, and I did start a couple other ones that I ended up finishing the beginning of this month, so that will be in next month's wrap up. But yeah, 11 books in January, really good. I started making a crocheted blanket for every read that I finish, and each row is a different color, and it coordinates with the star rating that I gave each book. So in one of my videos coming up, you'll get to see that. But that has been fun, and I'm really excited to see it at the end of the year with like all the different colors, and to see how my reading tastes were, how many books I actually gave 5 stars to versus how many I gave 1 star to. But yeah, I'm excited to have that this year, and it'll make reading just a little bit more fun because I have that to look forward to at the end of the year. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading!